All right, so get this. Kenya just had like a major political shakeup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wild. They just swore in a new deputy president,
Okay.
guy named Kithier Kindiki. But trust me, there's so much more to this than just a ceremony.
Oh, wow. Like what?
We're talking like serious power struggles,
Yeah.
allegations of corruption, and legal drama galore.
Huh. This sounds pretty intense.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's not just about Kindiki taking over. You know, it's
Right.
it's about all the stuff that led up to it and
Gotcha.
what it means for the future of Kenya. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what's the background here? Like, why is there so much drama surrounding this new deputy president?
Okay, so to understand what's happening, now we got to rewind a bit.
Okay.
Back to Kindiki's predecessor, Rigathi Gachagua.
Oh, yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah, well, he was impeached on October 17th.
No way. Seriously.
Yep. And accusations against him were pretty heavy. Corruption and, like, stirring up ethnic conflict.
Yeah.
All that.
Wow. No wonder there's so much tension.
Exactly. And Gachagua was claiming it was all a political scheme.
Of course he is.
He's even filed over 30 lawsuits trying to block Kindiki from taking office.
30 lawsuits. Geez, he's really fighting this.
He is. Which brings us to the legal drama I mentioned earlier.
Okay, so what happened with the courts?
Well, a high court initially put some restrictions on the swearing-in ceremony.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To, like, prevent it from happening?
Yeah, basically. But then, like, right before the ceremony, they lifted the restrictions.
What made them change their minds?
They cited public interest.
Public interest. I wonder what that means in this context.
Basically, they decided that Kenya needed a functioning government, you know?
Right. Makes sense. I guess they had to choose between potential instability and letting the ceremony proceed.
Exactly. It was a tough call, for sure. But now, Kindiki is officially the deputy president.
Wow. So after all that back and forth, he's actually in.
He is. But that doesn't mean things are going to be smooth sailing from here on out.
Right. I mean, he's stepping into a pretty complicated situation.
Kenya's facing some serious economic challenges right now.
Yeah, I've heard about that. What's going on exactly?
Well, the economy's not doing great. And the government's implemented some tax hikes to try and stabilize things.
Oh, I see. So they're raising taxes to improve the economy.
Right. But obviously that hasn't gone over well with a lot of Kenyans.
Yeah, I can imagine. People are probably not too happy about that.
They're not. And that's on top of the whole power struggle within the ruling party.
Right. So Kindiki's got to deal with internal conflicts and a struggling economy.
Yep. Plus, he's got his own baggage to deal with.
Oh, right. He wasn't exactly a stranger to controversy before this.
Not at all. He was the interior minister before becoming deputy president.
Oh, wow. So he was in charge of security.
He was.
Yeah.
And remember those massive protests in Kenya earlier this year?
Vaguely. Those were huge, weren't they?
They were. And there were a lot of accusations of police brutality under Kindiki's watch.
Ah. So his past actions are going to be under scrutiny now.
Definitely. He'll need to navigate that carefully.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think his biggest challenges will be in this new role?
Well, first off, he's got to find a way to unify the ruling party.
Right. They're pretty divided after everything that's happened.
Exactly. Then there's the economy. He needs to address those issues and, try to gain the trust of the people.
Yeah. It's a lot to handle, especially with all the political maneuvering and everything.
It is. And it really makes you think about the bigger picture here. You know?
What do you mean?
Like, how does a political system balance the need for stability with the demands for accountability?
That's a great question. It's like they need to keep things running smoothly, but also hold people responsible for their actions.
Right. And in this case, it's not just about one person. It's about the entire country and the future of Kenya.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Will Kindiki be able to bring stability, or will things just get more chaotic?
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
For sure. And you know what else is interesting to think about?
What's that?
How this whole situation in Kenya reflects on, the global political landscape.
Oh, that's a good point. Like, are we seeing similar power struggles and accountability issues in other countries?
Yeah, exactly. It's a question worth considering for all of us, not just in the context of Kenya, but in our own political systems as well.
I totally agree. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive on the Kenyan political shakeup.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
It has.
Yeah.
And it leaves us with a lot to think about. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
And be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into current events.
We'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye.